What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about the unspoken rules in the UK. So today, I want to take a look at this Reddit discussion where somebody asked, what are some of the UK's unspoken social understandings between each other? So, as an American, I know how to conduct myself here in America. But today, I'm really curious to hear about some of these social expectations, etiquette, and unspoken rules of British society, and how they're different from what I'm used to in the United States. So let's take a look at some of these here, starting with, for example, never turn up to someone's house party without your own drink. Oh, even if you are told not to bring anything, take a very small amount of something. Well, that's very polite, very thoughtful. I wouldn't say this is expected in America, but I mean, if you're invited to a house party, yeah, I think it would cross a lot of people's mind that you should bring something to be polite. House party is this? There's a difference, I guess, whether you're like real young or in college going to a house party, or if you're an adult going to like a Christmas party or something like that. You should bring some food or something. In the UK, is it specifically a drink? We don't care about the snacks, the hors d'oeuvres. It's you have to bring your own drink. That is definitely not the expectation. That's a nice thing to do, but it's not. Nobody's really going to care, especially if they don't ask you. If you're not told to bring anything, I think a lot of Americans will take that at face value. Where it sounds like in the UK, whether or not you're asked to bring something or contribute, you just feel like there's an expectation that you get, even if it's a very small amount. I like that. I actually think that's real nice. That's sweet. But definitely not the expectation in America. That's kind of going above and beyond. Okay. So next we have don't sit right next to someone on public transportation. If there are options available, then leave a space. Yes. God, I wish this was normal in America. Well, thankfully, in America, we don't use public transportation very often at all. Thank goodness. Because the couple of times that I have, it's a free for all. There's no etiquettes. There's no. You're going to get strangers sitting right next to you, probably talking loudly to themselves or on the phone, playing music. Yeah, it's definitely true in America. We tend to not really focus on how we're affecting other people. So this is not really an expectation. I like this one as well. I like these unspoken rules of the UK. I like these. I wish it was more like this. Yeah, if you're sitting on a bus or a train and there's lots of open seats, why the heck would you sit next to that person, a stranger? Why would you just plop down next to them? It's weird. It's creepy. It's an invasion of space. Yeah, the few times I've ever used, not often, but yeah, in the United States, if you're on public transportation, nobody cares, and it's almost like most people aren't even thinking about stuff this deeply. It's not even meant to be rude. It's not like the other person is trying to be rude when they sit right next to you. In the United States on public transportation, they're just not thinking about it. It's just so whatever. Whereas in the UK, it does feel like you guys are being much more cognizant of, oh, I have to bring something to the party to be polite. I don't want to sit next to this random person if there's other spaces because that might make them uncomfortable. Americans not so concerned about what makes other people comfortable or not. And again, it's not even when I say it out loud, it sounds pretty rude, actually. And maybe we should consider this more. But I guess if you grow up in America, you just grow up with the understanding that we're not trying to be rude to each other, but we're also not really looking out for each other. Which, yeah, when you say that out loud, that is a bit sad, isn't it? Likewise with urinals. My God, tell me about it. my, my goodness. No kidding. Yeah. With men going to the urinals in the bathroom, it's there's supposed to be an unspoken law about this, even in America with the urinals. Don't don't go right next to the other guy if you can help it. Let's give each other some space. Why not? Why not? No. In my experience, men in the bathroom really do not care and are just they just want to pee and move on. They don't care if they do it next to you. They don't care if they're loud and splashing everywhere. Okay, let's move on. Fancy a quick pint? This means let's go and get absolutely wankered. What is wankered? I feel like wankered has many definitions. I feel like I've heard the word wank, wanker, but never wankered in the past tense. Or like the action of getting wanked, wanker. That's funny to me. Anyway, if someone's saying to you in the UK, hey, do you fancy a quick pint? It's not some polite, quick little drink they want to get off at the pub. They want to go out and get absolutely wankered. I'm not exactly sure what wankered means. Drunk, drinking a lot. You want to get smashed, as we might say here in America. Let's go for a cheeky pint. Means I'll be home at 2 a.m. on Wednesday. I do get the sense from some of these comments that in the UK, drinking is taken a little further almost, maybe a little more normalized. And that might have to do with the existence of the pub. The pub is an amazing creation, an amazing existence that we don't have here in America, but I've learned about the British pub in other videos. If we had pubs, we would be doing this, I think, as well. Like, let's go for a pint at the pub. It sounds so fun. And then, one thing leads to another, and you're getting wankered. Sounds painful. Quick pint is a session. A swift half is a catch-up. A Swiss... Okay, this isn't supposed to be a terminology video, but I'm getting quite a bit of British terminology here. Let's keep going, though. What are some more unspoken rules of the UK? More drinking stuff, apparently. Bar queuing. Queuing, what we call waiting in line, queuing at the bar. Basically, rock into any space along the bar. The staff will generally have an idea of who's next. How? Oh my God. The UK bar staff is incredible. If this is true, in America, it is so frustrating. If you're waiting in line anywhere, at any kind of service center, a counter, a bar, it's a free-for-all. Why do I keep using that word? Why? I'm just now noticing how many things in American life are just chaotic free-for-alls, where everyone's just out for themselves. It's kind of sad. Yeah, if you're queuing, you have to be in a very organized line, or else the bartender would just, they would just look at the person who is closest to the bar, really, and just assume they're next. And if the staff member is mistaken, please politely gesture to the person who's in front of you. Ha! Ha ha! I'm laughing because otherwise I'd be crying because this is such a far cry away from what would happen realistically in an American bar. If the staff member is mistaken and they point to somebody else in front of you, that person is going to go. They're going to take their turn. There's no honor, there's no grace with the queuing and the waiting in line in America. It's madness. Every now and then I'll get surprised and somebody decent will be like, "Oh, excuse me. You were in front of me, weren't you?" And I'll go, "Oh, thank you. Thank you for proving me wrong." But this idea that you can just stand in a space along the bar and the staff will know who's next. They're not paying that. Props to the UK bar staff. You guys are really paying attention, I think. And we're not gesturing to the next person. Oh, they were here first. No, not happening. It's madness. The recent phenomenon of queuing away from the bar in one long line that's occurred since lockdown is an assault on British culture. What is it? This is a very specific kind of grievance, isn't it? So, forming a queue away from the bar in a really long line. Have you guys, this might be an older comment. No, this was like 5 days ago. This is something that started during the pandemic? Forming this one long super queuing away from the bar. People don't like this? This guy doesn't like it. He doesn't speak for every British person, but he doesn't like it. Obviously cheer if a staff member drops a glass. That's right, I've heard of this one before. I'd love to experience this one in real life. I think, even though I've read about it, I've studied this in the textbooks, British culture, this would still surprise me. This would take me off guard, catch me off guard. Most Americans would have no clue what's going on. If a glass was dropped and there's cheering, what is the origin of that? It's like you're at a pub and everyone has collectively decided if a glass is dropped and it breaks, it makes a loud noise, everybody's gonna cheer like, yeah, woohoo! I guess that's a good way to handle it, like turn it into a fun situation, a bonding experience, really. In America, if a glass drops, you will literally hear audible gasps. Like you'd think like someone had been shot or something. It's people get worked up over dropping glasses. In America, it's not cheering. Same when you go into a takeaway and there are a couple of you too. Oh, a takeaway like fast food or something where you're picking up food. We don't use the word takeaway. I think that means you're going in and picking something up. So you just form a random blob and they kind of know who's up, who's next in the queue, or you as a group know who's next. That respect, massive respect. That's incredible, honestly. At the bus stop, I'll always let others go ahead of me if they were there first. People with young kids, old, disabled people will be led on first. That's very nice. That's the way that should be, yes. But again, not always followed. If you're on public transportation, you should let older people, pregnant women, people who need to rest or want to sit down, you should give up your seat for them. You should be polite. You see some of that in America, I'm glad to say. Maybe not all the time, but... Okay, more unspoken rules in the UK. You have to judge whether people saying, "We must do this again. We must have lunch later." You have to judge whether that's real or whether that is code. For I never want to see you again. Have a nice life. Really? This is that British passive aggressiveness, maybe. This, yes, maybe in the UK, you're not really wanting to be rude. And that's a double-edged sword, because you have all this polite etiquette and customs that we're talking about, but you also have awkward situations where you kind of want to be rude in the sense that you don't want to see this person again, and you kind of want them to know that. But you can't say that. You just say, "Oh, we'll do this again sometime, for sure." And everyone, if you say it like that, you kind of know, are they actually, do they actually never want to see me again in their life? This frustrates my wife so much when she says, "You must come stay with us." She's completely serious, and she's prepared the guest bedroom. I've learned to tell people afterwards that it's not an empty offer, that we do want to plan a date. Well, they'll come and stay. So in America, if somebody's making plans for a different time or inviting me somewhere, I would definitely take that at face value. I would take that as truth. I would be like, oh, you want to meet up again? Cool. All right. I would not assume that they actually mean the opposite. In the UK, I'm a little confused now. Sounds like more often than not, people think, well, I guess you have to use context and be like, if you don't know this person very well, maybe that, and it didn't go well, the date or the meeting, you have to understand maybe they don't want to ever see you in their life. Take the hint. Okay, more unspoken rules in the UK. When people ask if you're all right, they absolutely do not want to know the answer. This I've heard about this. This is a very funny Britishism thing where you guys greet each other by saying, "You all right?" In America, that would be almost an insult. It would be alarming. In Britain, it's just saying, "How's it going? How you doing?" As we would say in America, "What's up? How's it going? You having a good day?" And in the same way, we're not really asking for your life story. Just want you to say, "Pretty good, thanks." Then you get some class difference. Class difference. The working class on Facebook. We're talking about class, British classes when they're on Facebook? Okay. Okay. Working class on Facebook. Can't trust anyone. Lots of snakes. Going to look after myself. Middle class on Facebook. Endless holiday and social photos. Nothing that you can use to determine emotion or what's going on in their life. That's more of everybody on American Facebook. Just photos, life updates, random stuff. Yeah, not really divided by class here in that way. That's funny. Also, bring mixers. There's never enough. Mixers like for drinks and ice cubes. Bring ice cubes? Okay, yeah. In America, you're definitely never bringing ice cubes. Mixer like for a drink to mix it in, or like a spoon to mix it up. You can tell I'm really cool at parties. Just a small one, a drink, equals fill it to the brim. See, this is like, I can't tell if you're joking. In the UK, there's been a lot of comments here today that are talking about drinking and how if you say a small drink, you mean a big one. If you mean let's go get a quick pint, you actually mean let's stay there for hours getting drunk. Don't turn up unannounced to my house. Yes, absolutely. This is the first one in the list where in America it is absolutely the same. Don't show up unless they understand and they have that kind of relationship with you. Maybe they are your brother or sister or parents. You can probably show up unannounced, but even then, you should make sure they're okay with it. Yes, that's the same here. Weather, as a safe conversation starter, talking about the weather is a go-to topic which rarely fails to break the ice. Talking about the weather. If you talk about the weather here in America, that is such a cliche to do here. That is such a small talk cliche in America. You would almost be at risk for getting laughed at or insulting the person, because it is actually generally acknowledged in America talking about the weather is the literal worst thing you can do. And it means you have nothing else to say and that you are boring and you are not really interested in the person. you're just talking about the weather. That's America. In the UK, it's actually fine. It's perfectly fine to talk about the weather. It's a go-to topic. It breaks the ice. That's awesome. I'd love if that was okay in America. In America, that's just considered awkward, actually. That's funny. That's so funny. It's like the opposite. I'm autistic and I'm reading these comments. It's killing me with embarrassment because yes, autistic people, by definition, have trouble identifying social situations. Don't worry, I'm on the same page. I didn't know about many of these things, although my excuse is I'm American. What else? Not to worry, we've all broken an unspoken rule. Very true. We all have. Saying see you later to people you definitely are not going to see later. That's guess this is normal in the UK. Just to see, this is the meanest thing on this list. Is in America, at least we're very straightforward usually. Sometimes we're like this, and we are just like, oh yeah, I'll see you later, definitely, and you don't. This just seems like so common now. Uh, that's funny. Finish your shopping. Take your change from the cashier, who you do not know, and sign off with a cheery "see you later." Okay, that just sounds like standard grocery shopping. Take your change. Say see you later. I wouldn't say see you later. I'd say thank you. Bye. You buy a coffee in a shop many miles from home and have a mild interaction with the barista. Maybe you comment on the beans. You take your coffee and add thanks, see you later. That all seems kind of standard human interaction, actually. When you make a cup of tea or get packets of crisps from the kitchen, you offer everyone else one and say, "Do you want anything through?" Even if they're on keto and have never had tea in their life, "Do you want anything through?" Did they say that correctly? Or are they saying, "Do you want anything though?" Do you want anything through? Anyway, whatever the statement is, in America, we don't make cups of tea. And if you're getting a packet of crisps or chips, as we call it, you're not wanting to share that with anyone. With that's the truth, and that's a good place to stop. This was really fun. Really informative, too. There are quite a few obscure differences in behavior, etiquette, rules, social customs that are definitely different between the UK and America. It's fun to learn about. Anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment if you're from the UK. If you can give your opinion on any of these rules or any other unspoken rules in the UK, that'd be awesome to hear about. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to the UK and learning about UK culture, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.